In the heart of the vast African savanna, where the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and gold, there roamed a lion named Asher. He was a magnificent creature, his tawny mane flowing like a golden waterfall, his eyes fierce yet wise. Asher was the king of his territory, respected and feared by all the animals that lived under the sprawling acacia trees and across the sun-drenched plains. His roar echoed through the land, a sound that commanded attention and instilled both reverence and trepidation. One fateful afternoon, as the sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the grasslands, Asher was lounging beneath the shade of a large baobab tree. He had just finished a hearty meal and was savoring the warmth of the day, his eyelids growing heavy. Suddenly, a frantic rustling broke the tranquility of the moment. Out of the grass darted a tiny mouse, its fur a patchy blend of browns and grays, its beady eyes wide with fear. The mouse, in its haste, stumbled right into the lion's path. Asher opened one eye, his gaze falling upon the minuscule creature. The mouse, trembling and breathless, squeaked out a desperate plea. "Please, mighty lion, spare my life. I meant no harm. I was only trying to escape from a hawk." The lion, bemused by the sight of such a small creature trembling before him, let out a low chuckle. He was aware that he could easily snuff out the mouse's life with a single swipe of his mighty paw, yet something within him stirred. In that moment, he felt a flicker of compassion. "Very well, little one," Asher said, his voice deep and resonant. "You may go, but remember, the savannah is a dangerous place for creatures like you." The mouse, overwhelmed with gratitude, bowed deeply. "Thank you, noble lion. I will never forget this kindness." With that, the mouse scurried away into the underbrush, its heart racing not just from fear, but from the thrill of having escaped death. Days turned into weeks, and life continued on in the savannah. Asher roamed his territory, hunting and basking in the sun, his reputation as a fierce predator remaining unchallenged. Meanwhile, the mouse, whose name was Timo, lived a humble life, foraging for food and avoiding the predators that lurked in the grass. Though small in stature, Timo was clever and resourceful, always finding ways to stay safe and thrive in the wild. One day, as Timo was gathering seeds near a watering hole, he heard a commotion nearby. Curious, he approached cautiously, peering through the tall grass to see what was happening. To his shock, he saw Asher, the great lion, caught in a hunter's trap. The heavy metal jaws were clamped around his powerful leg, and the lion roared in frustration, struggling to free himself but only becoming more ensnared. Timo's heart raced. He remembered how the lion had spared his life, and now the mighty king was in need of help. Despite his small size and the danger of approaching such a formidable creature, Timo felt a surge of determination. He would not let fear dictate his actions. Without a second thought, he dashed toward the trap, his tiny body moving with surprising speed. As Timo reached the lion, he called out, "Asher, hold still. I can help you." The lion looked down, his eyes wide with disbelief. "You? How can a mouse help a lion?" he roared, his voice a mixture of surprise and skepticism. "You are too small. You will only get yourself killed." But Timo was undeterred. "Please, just trust me. I owe you my life." With that, he began to examine the trap. The metal was cold and unforgiving, but Timo noticed that the mechanism was old and rusted. He scurried around the trap, looking for a weak point. Asher watched in awe as the mouse worked diligently, his tiny claws scratching at the metal, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and hope. After what felt like an eternity, Timo found a small crack in the mechanism. With all his might, he began to gnaw at the rusted hinge, his teeth working furiously. Asher, though initially skeptical, felt a flicker of hope. He held his breath, watching the mouse toil away. With each bite, Timo felt the metal slowly give way, and he pushed harder, determined to free the lion who had once shown him mercy. Finally, with one last determined effort, Timo bit down with all his strength, and the trap creaked and released its hold. Asher, with a powerful surge, pulled his leg free, shaking off the remnants of the trap. The lion stood tall, his legs sore but free, and looked down at the little mouse with newfound respect. "You did it, Timo! You saved me!" Timo, panting and exhausted, looked up at the lion. "I couldn't let you suffer, Asher. You spared my life, and I wanted to repay that kindness." A deep silence enveloped them, the savanna around them alive with the sounds of nature. Asher, humbled by the mouse's bravery, realized that true strength comes in many forms, and that even the smallest acts of kindness can have profound impacts. From that day on, an unlikely friendship blossomed between the lion and the mouse. They roamed the savanna together, sharing stories and adventures. Asher learned to appreciate the value of compassion, while Timo understood the importance of courage. Their bond became a testament to the idea that no act of kindness is ever too small, and that everyone, regardless of size or strength, has the potential to help in unexpected ways. In the heart of the savanna, where the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of twilight, the lion and the mouse stood side by side, a symbol of friendship and the power of kindness that transcends all barriers.